Well met, adventurers. Welcome to my new video series, The Rogue's Journey. A World of Warcraft classic hardcore playthrough. Shortly, I'll get into the details of the series, including the rules and restrictions of the playthrough. World of Warcraft has been a long time game I've played for most of my life, tracing my earliest times on the game to early mid-Burning Crusade back in 2007. Of course, back then, like many of us long-time WoW players, I sucked, but I believed I was a great player. And over the years, WoW has always been the game that I could fall back to and be comfortable and happy to just log in, run around, do whatever I've wanted to at the time. Then, when Blizzard released Classic WoW, I just needed to be back in the original style of the game as opposed to retail, which is a lot more fast-paced and dense now. Hardcore is something that I have dipped my toes into slightly here and there, but never really got too far into. So I wanted to take the opportunity now to try and get involved, see what we can do, and share the journey along the way. So with that in mind, I invite you to tune in on this journey we're about to embark on. Firstly, the rules and restrictions we have for this playthrough. Hardcore itself, for anybody who doesn't know, is a separate set of servers which have been created to make it so that if your character dies, then that's it stays dead, and you have to start a new character over again. So that's our first restriction, don't die. Next up, Blizzard have recently added another function, self-found mode. This is a checkbox which officially marks your character as self-found, meaning you cannot trade with other players, cannot access the auction house, and have limited in-game mail abilities. I believe this is only system mail and things the game itself sends you. This adds additional layers of challenge to us, meaning everything we want to do, we have to do it ourselves. Be that farming materials, crafting items, and even limits gold making methods due to not being able to sell things on the auction house. Along the way, there will likely be many scenarios that arise which will pose questions on whether we can do something or not. For example, my first question I put to you all now. Can we join a group of people for clearing content? Maybe it's only for group quests in the outside world, but not grouping for dungeons. Or maybe all group content is permitted. I haven't decided on this yet, but would love to hear your thoughts on this, but for now I'll just stick to completely solo. So that's our current rules and restrictions as of starting, and we can update them along the journey. The choice of race and class was a fun one. Class wise, I decided very quickly on a rogue. This was due to my lack of experience in hardcore, so I do want to start off by having the nice utilities that the rogue provides. Maybe in the future I could attempt a more limited class. Race, however, was where I took some time to decide, but I settled on a night elf. Firstly, because they look cool and do front flips when you're jumping around. Secondly, having access to their racial ability, Shadow Meld, which for any class gives the ability to stand still stealthed. For a rogue at face value it seems useless since rogues can stealth. However, rogues gain a passive boost to their normal stealth ability. There may also be random niche times where the normal stealth ability may be on cooldown, but we want to quickly stealth again, so we have the option to use the Shadow Meld ability then. Night Elves also have a slight nature resistance boost and a 1% bonus to dodge chance, which are both nothing huge, but are at least something to help survivability. Now with all of that out of the way, let's dive right in. Meet our character. He has a very immersive name, wouldn't you agree? Now we start off in the starting area of Shadow Glen, taking on the initial starting quests of the area. Early on, we are always going to encounter the issue of bag space. We either have to save up some silver to purchase some bags from the vendor, take up the tailoring profession so we can craft some, or just cross our fingers and hope we get lucky in one drop. Ah, okay, well there's our first bag. That's just improved our looting capacity straight away. Now we just hope that luck will continue. After a while of being able to freely run around mobs that are neutral to us and being safe in the knowledge of this, we moved on to the first area with aggressive mobs. This is where we first need to put into practice all of the methods of safety we will need moving forward. It's best to get this into practice early so you can just do it by nature and be less likely to get caught out in a sticky situation later. So for example, I start off by using a thrown weapon on most mobs. This does some damage, but also makes them move towards you, allowing you to control the range at which other potential enemies can aggro onto you. Do take note, however, that this alone won't always work. If an enemy has a ranged attack or spells, they will just start attacking you from their spot. In this situation, I just run back in the direction I want them to come. Their max attack range will then cause them to chase you until you're back in range, again allowing you some method of control. Caves like this can limit your ability to do stuff like this, so take extra care when doing quests in caves. For example, right now, I would have a slightly harder time going into this cave due to my low amount of throwing weapons. Soon, we encounter our first time-restricted quest, where we only have a small amount of time to get the objective and complete it. So we best lock in and make sure we get... Never mind, it's stupid easy. Progressing the quest some more, and we get our first visit to the class trainer, so we can learn new abilities and improve current ones. This could become problematic as we level, since we will be restricted in our gold making possibilities and the ever increasing cost to learn and improve abilities, but we'll worry about that down the line. Now remember that cave we just saw before? It's time to go in there, so we best do a restock to be on the safe side. As a side note, the newer versions of Classic WoW had some changes made to the spawn rates of mobs to help reduce the downtime for people compared to the original release. So also keep that in mind, especially in caves where the mobs could respawn quicker than you would initially think. So now we take down the big boy spider and grab the egg quest item and then head back to turn it in. After some more time and accepting the final quest of the area directing us to move onwards, we encounter our first in-progress question of possible rules for the challenge. Did you catch it? It's that right there. The random other player running past and placing a stat buff onto us. Does this cause us a problem for the self-found nature of this challenge? Not officially. However, I feel the best way to deal with this is simple. The rule is that we are not allowed to actively seek buffs from other players. If they happen at random, then it's fair game, because we can't control other people, and it will be difficult to always have to remove the buffs manually every time it happens. However, if I'm in a city and a lot of buffs get applied, then when I do leave the city to complete whatever task, I remove them, especially if it's the world buffs gained from people turning in raid quests, such as the Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer. I am open to suggestions on this too, but for now I think I'll work on that. With Shadow Glen now complete, it's time to say goodbye to the area and make our way onwards to our next location and challenges, which gives me time to ponder the great questions of life, such as which profession should I choose? Or does pineapple belong on pizza? It doesn't. But that does it for the start of our journey. I hope you have enjoyed this first installment and look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Rogue's Journey. Farewell for now, adventurers.